It is Sunday, the 3rd of January, 2016. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, and I'm in the middle of my alternative spiritual practice of protesting against Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy. And this is my first protest of 2016. No doubt not my last, but I always try to protest on the first Sunday of the new year, just to remind Unitarian Universalists that there's some unresolved issues that they haven't responsibly dealt with in the previous year. Unitarian Universalists, they try to use the new year as a time to put the past behind them and start with a clean slate. They also do this around Yom Kippur in September, October. So basically twice near the end of the year, or the beginning of the new year, Unitarian Universalists basically try to sweep all of the sins of omission and sins of commission that they're guilty of under the proverbial carpet and pretend they're starting off with a clean slate. Very self-serving, self-forgiveness is the order of the day. And that's pretty much what's happening right now at the Unitarian Church of Montreal. They are no doubt trying to pretend, that they're off to a new year with a clean slate. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case, because they've done absolutely nothing to deal responsibly with the issues I'm protesting against. Either at the local level or at the national and international level. So nothing has changed insofar as the injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy that I've been protesting against now since 1998. It's just one more year starting off in which Unitarian Universalists will most probably try to pretend that my protest has no legitimacy. Unfortunately, there's plenty of evidence, supporting all of my grievances, and in fact, in some cases over the years, there's been even, more and more evidence of certain things. I knew back in 1998, when I first began my protest, that the Unitarian Universalist religious community had its own clergy sexual misconduct problem, and that clergy sexual misconduct had not been properly handled by the Unitarian Universalist Association. I knew this as a result of speaking to various advocates for victims of clergy misconduct, within the context of trying to resolve the non-sexual clergy misconduct that Reverend Ray Drennan was guilty of. I was speaking to Reverend Deborah Pope Lance and UUs for Right Relations and so on about Reverend Ray Drennan's anti-religious intolerance and bigotry and slanderous and defamatory attacks on me and so on. And I was being told, that, there's actually far worse things that have been done that the UUA hasn't dealt with either, and basically being told that, serious sexual misconduct had occurred that the Unitarian Universalist Association had basically not properly dealt with. So I was aware, from a very early stage in this protest, even before it began, actually. Okay, here comes another police car. Again, that's 3 this morning that I've seen. Again, it may have nothing to do with the protest, or it may be that for whatever reason, maybe as a result of a call from the church, that the police have decided to at least drive by and have a look at what's happening here. And I don't have a problem with that. I really have no problem with the police coming by and having a look, see what's happening. I don't even mind if they want to stop and have a chat with me, and discuss the situation. My problems arise when the police abuse their power and try to shut down my protest. You know, some SPVM police officers think that it's their job to force an end to my protest, and so they find all kinds of foolish pretexts for trying to shut down my protest. You know, in 2012, which isn't that long ago, but you know, we're going back now, you know, 3-4 years. In 2012, there were 3 incidents when the SPVM officers showed up here, and every single time after initially introducing themselves, the next thing they said was that I had to leave. You know, that I could not stay here, I could not be protesting here. You know, and then of course we got into a discussion of, well, why do I have to leave? And just, you know, ludicrous excuses, you know, like one of them, at the time there was a bus stop here. This area here, which is now a bike trail, this area here in the street was a bus stop zone. And yes, you know, if you're a car, you're not supposed to park in the bus stop zone, which was here. One of the SPVM cops basically said that, oh, you can't protest in a bus stop zone. That was his pretext for telling me I had to leave, which is totally ludicrous. So we had a nice, what I call philosophical discussion about that. He then went into the church to discuss the matter with the church leadership who'd called in the complaint. Meanwhile, his car was parked in the bus stop zone and forced 2 SPVM buses to let people off in the middle of the road or far away from the bus stop, which is, oh, there's another police car. Okay, so it's starting to look like maybe, just maybe, they are hovering around as a result of my protest. That's 4 sightings this morning.
Man, what is your claim to fame?
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. My claim to fame, amongst others, is being falsely accused of the criminal act of blasphemous libel by the Unitarian Universalist Association for telling the truth about Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and rapists. So I've actually been the head office in Boston.
We came here with someone one day. They invited us to come to.
Right.
But I can't remember really.
I mean, I have other claims to fame, but you know, being accused of blasphemy by Unitarians in the 21st century, that's pretty good, I think.
Well, I think all churches do the same thing. They preach,
well, you know what? I don't know.
They preach love, but they want you to hate. That's what they do.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of hypocrisy, that's for sure. But I don't know of any other church that's accused a clergy abuse critic of blasphemy in order to shut them up. So that's quite unique. They
obviously haven't shut you up.
No, they haven't. No. That poor lawyer's probably really regretting sending me that letter. In fact, I sent them a little reminder because January 1st, New Year's Day, was the 3 year and 7 months anniversary since he sent me that letter. So it's New Year's Day. So I sent him an email saying, hey, I reminded him about the 8th or 9th commandment, depending on how you count them, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
But you're not on their property, so
no,
they can't do
the cops are right here. You see the cops?
Yeah,
no, they've had me arrested on bogus criminal charges before. I actually had to defend myself in court against bogus criminal charges.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, do you want to talk with me?
Can we see the other one? So, are you... So you're against this church?
I'm against bad behavior by this church. I'm against perversion of justice, prejudice, and bigotry, and so on, yes. Yeah.
Have a good day.
I'm having a great day. Happy New Year. So that was nice. They stopped to ask some questions. That's very good. That's how it should go. As I said, earlier in this video, I have no problem with the police coming by and asking a few questions. And then going on their way like they just did. Absolutely no problem at all with that. What I do have a problem with, as I was relating, is abuse of power, in efforts to prevent me from exercising my constitutionally guaranteed civil right to engage in peaceful public protest. So today, basically they asked a couple of questions and everything went fine. And that's how it should be, not only for me, but for anyone else who's protesting in the country. There's absolutely no reason to try and force an end to this protest. But unfortunately, in 2012 and in previous years, the SPVM have abused their power in various ways in efforts to shut down this protest. As I said to the gentleman asking me what my claim to fame was, the Unitarian Church of Montreal actually managed to get me arrested on criminal charges in December of 2000. So basically, just over 15 years ago, I was protesting outside the church here, early December, and a police car arrived. The police officer basically right off the bat informed me that I was under arrest. There was no preliminary discussion or anything. He just came and told me I was under arrest. And when I asked what for, he said public nuisance. And, that's really about all the information I got from him. So apparently, I was, protesting as a public nuisance. So anyway, he arrested me. He did all the processing in the car, and then he let me go, which was basically pretty decent of him. Didn't detain me or anything in jail. And I looked into the accusation against me, and essentially I was being accused under section 176-3 or .3 of the Canadian Criminal Code of disrupting the order and solemnity of a meeting held for a religious purpose. Section 176.3 of the Canadian Criminal Code does in fact prohibit disrupting a church service, or indeed other meetings held for a moral purpose. So you're basically prohibited from disrupting church services and other meetings held for a moral purpose. So I'm going, I'm outside the church. I'm not making any noise. I'm barely visible because the church windows, this is the sanctuary, this is where the services are being held, and as we can see, there's only 4 narrow slit windows, most of them high above the ground. This one here is totally blocked by a memorial to the 2 firemen who were killed when the church's transsexual organist burnt down the previous incarnation of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, and a wall collapsed on them. So that window, I cannot be seen through. This window here is about the only one where you might see the top of my head go by the window if you were looking 90 degrees away from where the minister is. Those 2 windows up there are way too high. There's no upper gallery. Anyone looking through those windows, all they're going to see is sky. And then there's this window here, which is in the sanctuary. It's blocked by frosted and stained glass, and also by a bush. So even in the winter, it's very difficult to see me through that window. And in the summer, of course, the bush has leaves on it, so it's impossible to see me. So I was being accused of disrupting the order and solemnity of church services. Of course, I pleaded not guilty and proceeded to go to trial because the Crown prosecutor refused to drop the charges. I invited him to drop the charges at least twice, and he refused to do so, saying that he had witnesses, blah, blah, blah. Good day, sir.
Are we recording?
Sorry?
Are we recording?
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Is this your first outing of the...
Yeah, it's my first of the new year. Just getting off to a good start here.
You're not going to freeze, I hope.
No, it's fine, yeah. Just listening to CBC radio here.
Any sign of movement from...
No, they like to just sit there and stagnate. That's what it is.
I heard a really neat, it's probably not his exact words, but a
Right.
really neat quote from Plato,
Oh, okay.
which I never expected from someone like him.
Right.
But it said, it goes, any amount of personal progress should never be discouraged, no matter how small.
I'm encouraging personal progress here. In fact, I encourage the lawyer on New Year's Day.
So you'd be grateful for any little progress.
Of course, but what I'm saying is, whether I'm getting it or not, I'm encouraging it. So even if I'm not getting it, I'm encouraging it.
I think it's a different meaning of the verb encourage, but I
right.
get what you
Okay. Catch you later. Have a good New Year yourself. I'm thoroughly enjoying being accused of blasphemy by Unitarians. I mean, it really doesn't get better than that. So this gentleman who's spoken with me before, asked if we were recording, because I think I had, normally I don't tell people we're recording because I want the record to be unbiased, unaffected by the fact that it's recording. I mean, the camera's visible. Anyone, it's not a hidden camera. It's a regular DSLR type camera hanging from my neck. So the camera is visible. So in this day and age, people ought to understand that the camera could be recording video. Those who don't realize that, I see that as their problem and not mine. And I'm actually forced to record almost continuously as a result of these false accusations that I've been talking about. Montreal Unitarians have repeatedly called in false reports to the police in their efforts to shut down my protest. And we'll get back to talking about one of the most serious ones, where I was actually arrested and charged with breaking section 176.3 of the Canadian Criminal Code, which prohibits disrupting a church service. I told the prosecutor, look, I'm outside the church. I'm walking back and forth like I'm supposed to. I have a couple of picket signs in my hands. I have a few picket signs standing freely, leaned up against bushes and stuff. I'm really not making any noise, so I don't think I can be heard in the church. Even if I was making noise, it's reasonable